We have gathered together this evening in Advent to participate in a Blue Christmas service, a service that might be new to many of us. Advent, a season of hope and preparation for the coming of Christ into our world. For most of us, we think about the baby. Most of us love and want to celebrate the birth of a child, and that is what we do for Jesus at Christmas. And yet, Christ is with us every moment of our lives. But how often we don't see him, feel him, and recognize him. The promise, of course, is that he will come again to set up his kingdom on earth for all to see. Tonight, however, right outside our church doors, all up and down Main Street in Huntington, colored lights are glowing. Traffic is flowing. People are walking everywhere. A road has been closed off for music and joyful gatherings of children and families. Someone may be whistling, "We wish you a Merry Christmas," or "Santa Claus is coming to town." Maybe even my favorite, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. People get caught up in the hustle and bustle of gift shopping and party planning. I can't figure out what to get my husband for Christmas. And I'm supposed to go to a party Saturday night, and I don't know if I'm going to fit into my colorful dress that I wore last year. Actually, I didn't wear it last year because we were in COVID. But, so that means 2 years ago I wore the dress. So will I fit into that dress, or should I go to the crowded mall with its lively, fast-paced holiday music piped in to encourage spending and buy a new outfit? Sounds like such a festive time for everyone. But is it really? Tonight we gather to sing quieter tunes, to sit in stillness. We can sing that too. Be still for the presence of the Lord, the Holy One is here. Come bow before him now with reverence and fear. In him no sin is found. We stand on holy ground. Be still for the presence of the Lord, the Holy One is here. We gather to honor and recognize that for many, and I might even suggest more of us than are here present tonight, there is darkness, sadness, stress, perhaps a loss. Maybe a loss of a friendship, a loss of a dream, or maybe even the death of a loved one who we want to remember. Advent, as Fleming Rutledge reminds us, begins in darkness. How beautiful it is that we can honor that, to allow ourselves to be present to our real feelings. Everybody out there seems happy. But we have had the courage to acknowledge that right here, right now, happy, happy, joy, joy is just not where we are. We gather in darkness, a darkness that may feel like it will overtake the light in our worlds. we may wonder if the darkness in our hearts will ever give way to hope and joy. Several years ago, it seems like yesterday to me, my mother was dying, and it was Christmas. Mom had anaplastic thyroid cancer, a rarer form of thyroid cancer, and a large tumor blocked her windpipe. So she was trached and couldn't speak. She lived in Rochester, New York. We lived in Setauket, Long Island. In an instant, with that tracheotomy, my world changed. No longer would I hear her voice. My lifeline was forever cut off. I remembered with great sadness that the one thing she most feared in her life was suffocating, not being able to catch a breath. More air was her plea through the 4 short months of her illness. Open the window, open the door, I need air. But it was Christmas, so we gathered our very large family together in the great hall of the nursing home she was in so we could be with her. And she, we hoped, would find some joy in seeing her family together. I played games with the little ones right in front of Mom on the floor. That brought me such joy. What a special time it was for me to be with those children. Yet, when I looked up into her face, right in front of me, what I saw, instead of a smile, was a deep and profound sadness in her face. Our hope was that she would feel the joy of being surrounded by all those who loved her. The sadness in her face entered my heart, and I just couldn't seem to find the joy of only moments ago. I just had to sit with that sadness and not try to stop those tears as they streamed down my face. It was a blue Christmas for me and for us all. Just couldn't make it what it wasn't. We were saying goodbye. She died on Gary's birthday, exactly 1 month from Christmas, January 25th. And there's no way to pretend to be happy when the world around you feels like it's caving in. I'm sure many of you could tell similar stories. A blue Christmas. A month later, we had a celebration of her life. Gathered once again in the church of my childhood with all my family, extended family, and friends, our blue feelings gently began to dissipate. It's always in the gathering that comfort comes. Being in the safety of our Christian family, like right now, what a source of comfort. We are not alone. We're never alone. But when we're here together, it is so much more comforting. Our feelings are safe here. The only road through darkness into the light is through the honesty of tears and grief and all the complex feelings we feel. We can celebrate that we are alive, and we each have a special deepness that opens us up to meaning in the midst of our struggles. Isn't that wonderful to know that we have that depth within us, to feel those feelings and to acknowledge them? It may be the winter of our lives, yet we need to winter as much as we need to summer. Honesty about our feelings is the only way to true, deep, and profound joy. Precious Lord, take my hand. Lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, and I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me on. It is in the dark night when God's light shines the brightest, because we come together willing to risk the honesty of our struggles. The light of Christ helps us to find our way in the darkness, to know that we are never alone. The light of Christ, lighting the way to hope and joy. Certainly the hope and joy in the incarnation of Christ, which is, in fact, the reason for this blue season of Advent. Blue sadness, blue hope. God's incarnation moves through our tears as well as our laughter, our joy as well as our sorrow, our fears and our courage, and our life and our death. There is no irony to the thought that we find meaning in our lives by being present to both light and darkness. So I thank God for all of you, for your presence this evening, which brings me such comfort. And I hope you always remember to honor your feelings. It is more than okay to be blue when the world around you is green and red. It's okay to be sad in the midst of excessive merriment. At the same time, the beauty and complexity of who we are in Christ allows us to feel joy, even in the midst of grief and sadness. I was filled with the power of the Spirit as I said the eulogy at my mother's celebration of life. Both tears of sadness and tears of joy now ran down my face. But the power of the Lord is what carried me then, and it carries me now. And I pray that it carries each of you in the days and weeks ahead.